We are glad to have you on this Tuesday evening bulletin, the 20th of May. I'm Jasma Vaton.
And I'm Sasha Elizabeth. Tonight, from the Vatican to the valleys of Kitui, from liturgical harmony to agricultural reforms, we bring you a full spectrum of what matters to the church and the community.
And alongside us is our sign language interpreter, Eric Maluki, making sure no one is left behind in this conversational forum.
Absolutely, and from Pope Leo XIV historic pilgrimage to a rising mental health crisis back home, it is a bulletin that stirs both soul and society. Let's begin.
Pope Leo XIV is said to make a solemn pilgrimage to the tomb of St. Paul at exactly 5:55. This evening, the visit is rich in spiritual symbolism, marks a moment of deep reflection and continuity with the early church as the pontiff pays homage to the apostle to the Gentiles.
That's right, and security and liturgical preparations are already underway at the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls in Rome. Well, our reporters are on ground and will be bringing you full, complete stories in our subsequent bulletins at 7 later on. So we move forward.
The Vatican is striking a new chord with Catholic worldwide. Literally, the Pontifical Institute of Sacred Music has unveiled a groundbreaking project dubbed Let Us Sing Together with the Pope.
An initiative designed to teach the faithful Gregorian chant and unite them in song during papal liturgies, even from afar. Led by Father Robert Mahelhart, the project uses bite-sized video tutorials shared on social media, making it easy for anyone to follow and sing along. It is very simple, he says, and I quote, "I sing, then we sing with the Pope."
This is a prayer in action. The effort hopes to deepen spiritual engagement through music, reviving the beauty of chant as a living, breathing form of global worship.
Already the initiative is hitting the right notes. 10 students from the Institute recently joined the choir at Pope Leo XIV inaugural Mass, with 153 students from 44 countries enrolled. The message is clear. This is not just music. It is unity in faith, one voice, one church, one song.
Let's take a look.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia. Let's Sing with the Popes è l'iniziativa che fa cantare la gente con il Papa. Questa è l'iniziativa. È molto facile. All'inizio c'è il buongiorno del preside, quindi di me, e poi iniziamo subito con una piccola prova praticamente. Quindi io canto le parti della messa e poi si vede anche la notazione in canto gregoriano con il testo e poi passo per passo facciamo questi brani insieme e alla fine, il grande finale, si canta col Papa. Ho pensato, sì, adesso la gente prega veramente. E anche io, durante le prese, ho pensato, ma questo veramente è bello, e sono entrato in questa atmosfera di preghiera. Certamente non è la bellezza che fuoriesce, quello è lo scopo. È bello se è pregato bene. Ormai forse sì, dobbiamo proseguire questa strada. Non c'è ancora il progetto, ma sì, dobbiamo fare qualche cosa, sì. Secondo me questo è lo scopo di questo progetto, che anche quelli che non saranno presenti in piazza San Pietro, quindi possono partecipare perché sanno cantare con il Papa.
Regina Celi, is your voice even on the keyboard?
No,
I expect
really.
you to harmonize with maybe
One day
tenor
I'll
or
get
bass. Letare, hallelujah. Anyway, we sing along, of course, with the community at the heart of the Catholic Church in the Vatican. Moving forward is that the winds of change are sweeping through Kenya's coffee sector, and as the 2025-2026 coffee season draws near, the government is tightening the screws on reforms aimed at reviving the once thriving industry.
And as our reporter David Kiprotich brings us this latest from Kanjanga in Kirinyaga County, where thousands of farmers gathered to a high-level forum attended by top leaders.
Kianjanga Public Grounds in Kirinyaga County, a sea of over 12,000 coffee farmers from Dia constituency gathered, their eyes fixed on the promise of a better tomorrow. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki assured farmers that the long wait for coffee reforms is finally bearing fruit.
Ile reforms tumeweka pale sasa, malipo inakuja in 5 days through the direct settlement system. We are trying to improve that system so that we can even pay within 2 days. Si namna hiyo? Cooperatives ikitaka tulipe through cooperative, through factory, we have no problem. Lakini the farmers must agree.
With the 2025-2026 coffee season fast approaching, the government has unveiled a series of bold measures: timely delivery of fertilizer, subsidized pesticides, and certified coffee seedlings, all anchored on enhanced funding for the Coffee Research Institute.
Kahawa ni dhahabu. Tutapeana mbegu because we want another 2.5 years. We need to increase the acreage under coffee. So tutatafuta mbegu ya kutosha. Tumepea Coffee Research Institute 500 million ya kupropagate mbegu. Tafuteni mashamba ya kutosha. Tutapeana fertilizer, mbegu, tutanyorosha governance kwa corporate societies, tutatafuta market, tutasubsidize mbegu ili mbegu ipatikane ya kahawa, tutasubsidize pesticides. We will do whatever it takes to make coffee a profitable venture once again.
At the core of these reforms is the streamlining of the licensing regime within the coffee value chain. Gone are the days of multiple, overlapping licenses. Moving forward, individuals will only need one license as a miller, broker, or marketer.
Hiyo Nyota program nimesema ya 28 billion, 50,000 shillings for 70 businesses in every ward is for small scale businesses.
But perhaps the biggest game changer lies in legislation. In the coming weeks, both houses of parliament are expected to finalize and pass the Coffee Act 2025 and the Cooperatives Act 2025.
So we are going to bring in new laws. In another 1 month, the president will have signed the Coffee Act of 2025 and the Cooperatives Act of 2025.
These twin laws aim to overhaul governance structures in coffee factories and cooperative societies, effectively kicking cartels and middlemen out of the system.
Na hapo wale watu wamejificha kwa cooperatives na societies hapo kunyanyasa wakulima wa kahawa, wa majani chai na ile cooperatives zingine, your time is up. Na kusiwe na watu wa kuchukua jasho ya mkulima, brokers na cartels. Watoke wawache mkulima na kahawa yake na pesa yake. Na mimi vile vile nitafanya mkutano na watu ya Mwea, proper meeting, kwa sababu pia mpunga wetu kuna wakulima wetu wananyanyaswa pale na cooperatives, sijui na broker, sijui na nani.
With the prices for a kilo of cherry climbing to between 110 and 150 shillings in the recently concluded season, the golden days of coffee may be on the horizon once again.
Na hiyo coffee sio ati tumefikisha ile price ya juu, tunakazana iongezeke hata zaidi ya mahali coffee iko saa hii. Kwa sababu pale Uganda wametupita kidogo, pale Ethiopia wametupita kidogo kwa mambo ya kahawa.
Farmers, lawmakers, including dear Member of Parliament George Kariuki, Kirinyaga Central's Joseph Getari, and former Women Rep Wangui Girichi, alongside the Speaker of the County Assembly Muteti Murimi, and members of local MCAs, engaged in candid discussions on how to sustain profitability and protect the dignity of the Kenyan farmer. With commitment from the top and unity of the ground, the government is betting big that this time the Kenyan coffee dream will not just bloom but thrive. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Kiprotich David.
Reviving the Kenya's black gold. Let's hope that it's not just for the sake of. All right, moving forward is that a fresh standoff is brewing between the Council of Governors and the national government over the contentious transfer of universal health coverage (UHC) personnel to county governments.
The governors are now pushing for an urgent meeting with the President William Ruto, accusing the Ministry of Health of poor coordination and mismanagement in transition process.
Paris Wambui has the full story.
The Council of Governors is calling for an urgent meeting with President William Ruto to address what he terms emerging tensions between the two levels of government. Tensions they warn could derail key services.
And what we're actually seeing here is the CS is trying to transfer his problem to us. Because if the UHCs that are at work are not funded in perpetuity, the moment their contract ends, they'll start demanding that counties absorb them. And all we're saying is, where is the money to absorb them?
At the center of the storm is the transfer of universal health coverage staff who have taken to the streets demanding permanent contracts or gratuity after serving for 6 years under the COVID-era health program.
There's also the matter of gratuity. These people have worked for 6 years. We're not being told who's going to pay for their gratuity, and we don't have the money as counties to pay for that gratuity. And these are the reasons why we have looked at this arrangement and have seen it's not acceptable to us. It's just transferring to us problems which we will not be able to deal with.
The governors accuse Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale of fast-tracking the transfer without involving counties or providing funds to cover salaries and benefits.
The CS has issued a directive. He has purported that he's going to transfer the payroll for the UHC staff to the counties. And the position of the governors who are here today is that we will not be accepting a payroll that is not properly construed, because the UHC staff since 2020 have been on a job group that is very discriminative compared to their colleagues. They almost earn, I think, a third of the salary that the rest of the colleagues earn. That contract is coming to an end next year. We don't see the urgency that is there for the ministry to transfer a contract that is coming to an end in a year's time, when it has been on for the last 6 years, at the same discriminative job group that the UHC staff are out there about. And therefore our position is, let the ministry keep the payroll as long as they don't provide the prerequisite resources in the equitable share to be able to pay for this staff onward.
Also raising eyebrows is a recent donation of surveillance vehicles of counties by the president, a move the council says undermines county autonomy.
And you wonder, matters as simple as procurement that can be done in the counties is really being taken up by national government through the Ministry of Health and like so many other projects that are being mentioned. And so we want to humbly request all of us. Kenyans demanded devolution. They fought for devolution. And it is by consensus that we got the 2010 Constitution. And therefore, the only way we can help this country is by ensuring that devolution grows. And it will not grow in the way we have seen. And therefore, as a Council of Governors, we continue to fight for this devolution space to ensure that the citizens of this nation do get the value of devolution.
And beyond the UHC dispute, the council wants the president to address persistent funding delays of the 536 billion Kenya shillings requested by counties for the next financial year.
As of today, county governments are owed Kenya shillings 74.98 billion in delayed disbursements as follows. Kenya shillings 7.19 billion for the month of March 2025 owed to 11 counties. Kenya shillings 34.87 billion for the month of April 2025 owed to all the 47 counties, and Kenya shillings 32.93 billion for the month of May 2025 to all the 47 counties. Additionally, over a week has passed since the signing of the County Government's Additional Allocations Act 2025, but funds are yet to be disbursed.
With counties staring at financial strain and key functions at risk, the governors say they need more than promises, they need prompt action. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Peris Wangombe.
Great, so now let's refocus our spotlight to Kakamega, where the Ministry of Water and Environment is calling on the Kakamega Water and Sanitation Company, Kakwasco, to consider temporarily lowering water connection fees.
The proposed measure is intended to boost access to clean and safe water, while also curbing the growing number of illegal water connections in the region.
Susan Bulemi reports on this renewed push to make water more affordable for all.
Speaking during the launch of the third and final phase of the Savona Water Project, the County Executive Committee member for Environment, Penina Mukabane, urged residents to take advantage of the initiative and apply for legal water connections.
Tukiingia, access to clean and safe water was at about 64%. Lakini sasa gavana wetu amesukuma, tumefika at about 74%. Na hii Kakamega Municipality, Wizara ya Maji inaisupport zaidi kwa upande wa kuhakikisha access to clean and safe water. Ile kitu imebaki ni sewerage, tunajaribu ku-unlock ile marava ambayo iligwama, na tunajaribu pia kutafuta wafadhili wengine kama tunaweza ku-establish a sewerage plant that will be able to serve this town for 20 years or more to come. Once you have completed the project, kindly encourage more connections by waiving connection fee from 5,000 to 2,500, at least for 1 month. Hii town inategemea maji kutoka Tindinyo. Na hiyo maji kabla ifike hapa town, ingine imeenda Kaega, ingine imeenda Sigalagala, ingine imeenda Shinyalu. So ikifika hapa imekuwa kidogo. Ndio mnaona rationing inaendelea. Lakini saa hii wakati hii mradi inamalizika, hatutakuwa na rationing.
At the same event, the Chief Officer for Water and Environment, Mariam Baraza, announced that the completion of the Savona project will bring an end to water rationing in Kakamega County. She also advised the contractor to uphold strict environmental conservation practices throughout the construction period.
So hii project ikiisha, mmesikia kwamba tutakuwa na additional 6,000 meter cubic ya maji per day. So ukiweka 6,000 at least from the deficit ya 15,000, tutakuwa reduce hiyo rationing sana. And you'll realize that saizi complaints zimekuwa nyingi sana za rationing. So hii project ikiisha, tunajua kwamba watu wetu wa Kakamega watakuwa more comfortable.
Authorities have now issued a stern warning to those using illegal water connections, saying tough action will be taken against anyone found culpable.
Na pia nyinyi wananchi, nataka kuwasihi, msiharibu miundo msingi ya mradi, msiharibu pipes, msiharibu water infrastructure. Tumepewa water police wako pale Lake Victoria North. Pia tutawaambia wawe makini sana. Wale watu wanaiba maji bila kupitia katika njia sawasawa ya kuapply maji watashikwa. Wale wanaharibu pipes za maji pia watashikwa. Tunataka muweze kuprotect hii maji ili wengine wapate.
This initiative marks another major step in the county's commitment to improve access to clean water, fight misuse, and preserve natural resources. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Susan Bulemi.
Bungoma Catholic Bishop Mark Kadima has urged Christians to focus on good deeds within society and institution, warning that constant criticism negatively affects their faith.
Speaking during a mass at St. Marcella Maliki Parish, Bishop Kadima noted that many Christians tend to concentrate on wrongdoings of others instead of emulating the positive efforts being made around them.
He emphasized that such mindsets weakens faith and distract believers from their spiritual growth and responsibilities.
The bishop called on Christians to become role models by promoting and following acts of kindness and righteousness in their communities.
Let's take a look.
Ya Mungu, yale ambayo matendo mema ya Mungu ambaye ametenda ndio walikuwa wanazungumzia. Roho Mtakatifu akiwa nawe utatambua matendo mazuri ya Mungu, utatambua matendo mazuri ya Mungu, ya kwamba tuna washemasi, ya kwamba tuna upadirisho, ya kwamba tuna dinari, ya kwamba tuna parokia, ya kwamba imani inasonga mbele. Hayo ndiyo matendo ambayo tunaona kati yetu, ndiyo matendo ambayo tunatakana tuzungumzie. Hata tukinywa tunazungumzia hayo, hapana kuzungumzia vitina. Zungumzia matendo ambayo Mungu anafanya kati yetu. Zungumzia matendo ambayo fulani amenunua gari, fulani amesoma, fulani ameoa, fulani anakula vizuri, fulani ana tumbo. Hiyo ndiyo matendo ya Mungu. Sherekea katika uzuri wa Mungu. Hapana ongea tu vitu vibaya, udaku, nini, hiyo achana na hiyo. Hiyo sio kutambua matendo ya Mungu. Mnanielewa? Ya, ongea, zungumzia. Ukiwa leo katika baa, zungumuza yale ambayo yametokea leo. Askofu amekuja, amecheza kama mwenda wazimu. Hiyo ndiyo maneno ya matendo makuu ya Mungu. Tumeenda Maliki, tumekaa vizuri, bwana nani uko hapa, sherehe ilikuwa nzuri. Hiyo ndiyo matendo ya Mungu. Hapana kwenda huko kusema, fulani alikuja na nguo mbaya, fulani sijui alikuwa na kofia, fulani alikula sana, atakuni. Hiyo matendo mabaya. Hapana tusi watu. Mnanielewa? Tambua mazuri ambayo Mungu anatenda kati yetu. Baraka zake Mungu, wewe ongea, zungumuza juu ya hiyo. Furahia hiyo. Mnaniangalia namna gani? Mnanielewa? Yesu ukienda nyumbani, ambia askofu, ambia watu, askofu amesema tufurahie matendo yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
Great, we should learn to appreciate the great deeds, because some of us always very skeptical for no reason.
Absolutely.
So and so, you na tumbo. It's like there's any human without a tummy in the world. Anyway, I'm yet to come across such. There is a growing concern in Kitui County of a sharp increase in suicide cases, particularly among men and young people. The County Criminal Investigations Officer, Cecilia Mugambi, has issued a rare and urgent public appeal calling on women and the wider community to play a key role in stemming this alarming trend.
Speaking out on the rising cases, Mugambi urged residents to break the silence around mental health issues.
She emphasized the importance of speaking up when confronted with family conflicts, financial hardships, or social pressures, all factors driving this crisis.
The surge in male suicides, mostly affected men aged between 30 to 50, is linked to unresolved emotional and economic burdens.
Mugambi highlighted how cultural expectations, social stigma, and harmful notions of masculinity are preventing men from seeking help.
Adding to the challenge, she pointed out that the possible influence of emerging street drugs notably a substance known as aviator, which may be worsening mental health condition and impairing judgment.
Impairing judgment among youth and men. And Mugambe's plea was not only directed to police and health officials, but extended to families, faith leaders, elders, and community groups.
She called on Kitui residents, especially women, to actively check on their loved ones, foster open and safe conversation, and break the silence that continues to shroud the suicide nightmare, especially among men.
A step she says is critical to saving lives. Let's
Sumbuka kwa watu ya kujiwekwa kwa miti njuu pale. Kweli inaitwa suicide. Tuko pamoja? Ambayo iko kwa national crime. Ambapo ofisi yangu ya Directorate of Criminal Investigation inaniuliza niseme ni nini Wakamba anasoa wanaume wa umri fulani wanajinyonga. Kweli? Kina mama. Kina mama tuko hapo? Wale wa baba ni watoto wetu, si ndio? Vijana ni watoto wetu, si ndio? Wewe mwenyewe wachache pale mkienda kwa chama, ni kweli na nitatask bwana DCC hapa sababu ni mama kama mimi, kweli? Nasumbuka sana akili nikienda kulala, si ndio? Nauliza hao wazee wetu, ndugu zangu, watoto wetu, sababu mimi niko na watoto kiasi ya wengine wako pale. Nikiwa mke wa mtu, si kweli? Kwa nini huyu mwanaume anajiweka kamba pale juu? Swali. Na nikirudi nitataka msuluhisha, mniambie ni nini tuweze kufanya nini? Mimi siongei kikamba lakini nakielewa vizuri. Tena niko na timu yangu hapa kubwa, warefu, wafupi, watoto. Wananiambia kuna kitu inaitwa MCFM, sijui nini hiyo, si ndio? Kitu inaitwa aviator. Atuweka ndururu hapa, pata shilingi 2 hapa. Nauliza inaweza kuwa hiyo ndio inasumbua wanaume wetu wakienda pale wakicheza pale. Alafu yeye nyumbani unamwambia leta kitu. Tuko pamoja mama? Tumepoteza na hesabu yangu haiendi vizuri. Bali vile mnang'ang'ana maneno ya Karubu isikuje pale. Manake pia hiyo ni vita, sawa? Ningependa kujua aswa watu yangu ya Katulani na hii sublocation hii tunataka kuform hapa ni nini? Tuko pamoja hapo? Hiyo kitu inaniuma akili, inauma serikali. Tukiketi mkutano pale na bwana chama namwambia afande wangu nasumbuka ni nini Wakamba, na si hapa peke yake, sawa? Kwa hivyo wazee kama wale wa Njuri Ncheke si wako hapa, si ndio? Wako hapa, si ndio? Wambai, si ndio? Nataka mketi muulize nini chawi kwa niku kwa dhukie ni chau kiku tiu nimewa.
Kitui is now joining a growing number of counties grappling with the reality that suicide is no longer a private matter. It is a public health emergency. The message from the region is simple but urgent. Let's talk before it is too late.
That's right. Let's talk before it's too late. And as we wrap up tonight's bulletin, from sacred melodies uniting the global church to calls for compassion in the face of suicide, we are reminded that that faith must walk hand in hand with action. From sacred song to silent struggles, tonight's stories remind us that the church is most alive when it listens, learns, and leads with love. Let us continue to be light in the shadows and hope in the hardships. The call to action is clear. Faith must be lived, not just professed. With sign language interpretation by Eric Maluki, I'm Sasha Elizabeth. And I'm Charles Mavaton. Thank you for joining us on Catholic Focus. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and stay grounded in faith.